Sorry.
No problem. 10, item 2, Washington School Building and Property. We have a communication from Mr. Jackson. You're up.
Right. The county has indicated that the Washington School Building property is being offered to the borough. We could either take the building over, it could be demolished and site remediated by the county, and we can accept it in that condition, or we can decline. So, I've just, given you, I think that you would have to consider, if you accepted it, is that it's an old building. I've been in it a few times, I'm not an expert, somebody would have to evaluate, I don't have utility payments. It is an old building, it's not a building that can easily be maintained. On the other hand, if you ask the county to site remediate it, one of the advantages, you don't have to necessarily make a decision right away, since there's going to be, I'm sure, a lot of ideas as to what the best use is. It's finished, you have a little bit of breathing time. I'm not suggesting going forever, but that would be the advantage there. If you do put another building onto it, either now or in the future, of course, there are capital costs, utility costs. There would be insurance costs, maintenance costs. Somebody would have to maintain it, custodians or whatever. So that's something that you have to consider. I don't know whether the county is saying, they dropped their deadlines 2 weeks. They didn't indicate that. I think you have some time to think about it, but.
Can we have a firm go through the property to give us an idea of its structural problems, if any, and health hazards, if any, and what it would cost to remediate those if we decided to keep the structure, so we know what we're playing with?
Well, I think before you do that, maybe you should have Stan and maybe the mayor go and speak with Paul McCall
I was hoping
before you jump into that, and then maybe do that after they meet with them.
I was hoping at some point that every member of the council would take some time, and just go over there and look at the inside. I tried to get in there the other day, but it was all locked up, and I could see inside. Apparently it's still being used.
But there's a lot of asbestos in there.
Well,
My question is, you remember days, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, we were talking about possibly getting it from the county, and at the time, the county wasn't sure what they wanted to do with it. They had no idea what they were going
I'm
to do
just
with
not an expert with this
So
asbestos.
we
so
can
I
take
don't
a
know.
tour, but I'd like people to.
I know it's not safe.
Right, there is no issue with the tour, you can take a tour, but the reality is that none of us, to my knowledge, in this council have trained eyes, or background.
I know it's bad.
Very
Very trained eye, okay. That's what I
But
said.
that's not a historical building either, right? We don't know that?
It is, I went to grade school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Historical.
Okay, well, William Bethard was the principal, I know,
it. It was
yeah.
built in 1935, it's 8 years old.
But
My question is this, though, the county's been using it all these years, since we talked about it 10-something years ago, and then the problem was, remember the problem came up about asbestos, and tossing around a figure of maybe $1 million to clean out the asbestos. Did the county do something about the asbestos?
No.
Well, that's the whole point of having some professional go look at it and give us an idea of what it would cost, what the current
Oh,
problem is.
absolutely.
So-
Well, I'm wondering how the county's been able to use it all these years, if there's a.
Well, asbestos
It's
won't bother you
it's
unless
such a
it's
touch it.
shredded.
Yeah.
I think
It's
before we
the
jump to that,
fibers.
though, we should talk to Paul McCall first. Maybe with Stan, would you be available? to
Yeah,
do that?
what I would suggest, have Stan go down, because maybe the county has gone, I would expect that the county would have done an analysis, and if they do, why reinvent the wheel?
Right.
And so, in essence, what I'd suggest we do is, in fact, I would suggest we go see either Paul or Mike Amorosa.
So 2 minutes ago, a couple properties,
Sure.
I'll go with
Can
you.
you make it?
I'll make it. Don't
Okay,
worry about it.
that's right. Well, we have too many? So, anyway, we'll put together a group, okay? And we'll go do that report back next meeting.
Great.
Fair enough?
Good job.
All right.